What brings you here?
Robot business!
These robots are no better than the one who gives them orders.
This thing I created has enormous power. And you'll watch it. Now then, life for the robot!
I'm back in my hometown, I've finished university and I finally have enough time to make this video about my Easter trip to Japan. I went out to Kagoshima and saw my girlfriend Jess.
Love you.
Love you too. This time wasn't as much of a snooze fest as the last time. And luckily, because it was Easter, it was also the Hanami. The Hanami, of course, is the blooming of the cherry blossom trees, which is a really important thing in Japanese culture. They really respect nature and feel they're one with it. That's what Shintoism is all about. And they respect these trees. They show their respect for these trees by going and having a massive party underneath them and getting incredibly drunk. Kagoshima is the southernmost tip of mainland Japan, and it's very culturally and historically significant. They played a big role in the unification of Japan and the war with Britain. It's home to the Satsuma clan and famous general Seigo Takamori. I actually went to his shrine and got my fortune from there, which I thought was really cool, even though I had no idea what it meant. As well as Shintoism and Shinto shrines, there are also Buddhist temples in Japan, and we went to Kagoshima's main Buddhist temple right in the heart of the city, which surprisingly was made out of plastic. The original temple had burnt down and then they'd rebuilt it using cheaper modern materials, and I thought it was a really good mix of classic and modern. Our first stop in Kagoshima was the aquarium, which was slightly less psychedelic than the aquarium in Nagoya, with its floating angel babies.
That fish was just floating.
There was supposed to be a whale shark in this aquarium, the largest fish on Earth, but sadly it had been removed, which was very disappointing. What wasn't disappointing though was the Japanese people's reaction to seeing all of these strange underwater creatures. It's totally normal behaviour in Japan to point at squids and go, "Ah, oishii," which roughly translates to, "Ooh, that looks tasty." The Japanese, of course, have a very different attitude towards food, and very different food, which is really tasty, but it just looks so odd. I mean, just look at how adorable this little Kit Kat is. I got to try lots of interesting food whilst I was in Japan. Lots. I also saw this really interesting Japanese TV program where they would get Italian people to try Japanese snacks, and the Italian people would always almost throw up whenever they tried anything different, and it was really quite interesting and funny, so I thought I'd do the same thing with my friends.
It's quite soft on the outside, but hard on the inside.
Should we do it?
Right. Okay.
Anyone?
Right. On three.
One,
2, 3. Really nice. Yeah, really nice.
Alright, can you describe the taste?
It's like Christmas cake. It's like Christmas cake.
It's like wheat bread.
Sweet Christmas. Yeah, it's like
quite sweet, yeah.
I was quite disappointed that none of them threw up. The best part about the whole trip was, of course, though, Dinosaur Park. This was such a strange place found on Sakurajima Island, the active volcano in the area. They must have tried to build a theme park, but maybe it was mistranslated wrong, and they just had a park that was themed. There were just these large fiberglass dinosaurs dotted around a normal park, and this was a tourist attraction. The whole place looked abandoned, and we were the only people there. We actually found an observation deck, which looked really spooky.
Want me to take a picture?
What was really interesting about going around this part of Japan was that there weren't many other white people around, and I was told that being so tall and blonde as I am, that I would get some very strange looks from people, and that people would think I was very odd and maybe stay away from me in the street or point at me. What I actually found was that the Japanese people didn't really care about my whiteness, but any other Caucasian people that I saw around just wouldn't stop staring at me. Like, oh my god, I found another one like me! It was quite disconcerting. All in all, I had a great time in Japan, and if you ever want to visit Kagoshima, I highly recommend it.
You need to see the music. I'm not for sale, no sellout, no excuses. No, this is not a game, this is a movement. Get off my train, stop playing with the music. Turn it up. Orchestra.